right, here we go. Miss Mulatto, welcome to VladTV.
What's up?
What's up? Congratulations on all the success. I've been looking at the numbers and the TV show and everything. That's
Yeah,
big.
I appreciate it.
Well, you actually grew up in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And, in terms of your name, it comes from you being mixed with,
Correct.
I guess, a black father and a white mother?
Right. Uh-huh.
Okay. So, growing up in the South, because I guess you were born in, was it 98?
Yeah, 98. I was born in Columbus, Ohio, but we moved there when I was like 2, so Atlanta is all I
Okay.
know.
Okay, so basically you grew up in Atlanta.
Right.
Was that a thing at all, having mixed parents in terms of the area where you grew up at?
Not necessarily in the area I grew up in. It was kind of foreign, especially to where I was born, but it wasn't common, no.
Okay. So was there any issues at school, or did everyone not really make it a big deal?
It was definitely a lot of issues in school. When you're light skinned, you pretty. They kind of associate you with the stereotypical light skin. I think I'm all that girl. So I definitely dealt with a lot of bullying and things like that.
Okay. But did you identify as black or mixed or what
I
exactly?
don't I don't like identifying with anything like specific. I rather, if I have to be something, I would say I'm biracial, mulatto. I don't like saying I'm white or black.
Okay. And your parents, did they stay together or no?
Yeah, my parents are still together.
Okay. So as you're growing up with a black father and a white mother, how did they really express to you in terms of having both heritages and not really just focusing on one side, because you guys both sides of the family have a rich history.
Right. I spent a lot of time with both sides of my family. They didn't put too much emphasis on there even being a difference when I was growing up. I really didn't even know that it was anything different about my family until I went to school. You know what I'm saying? They didn't put any emphasis on there being a difference between both sides of my family. I saw the different shades of complexion, but I didn't think any different of it growing up. No.
Okay, because your name is very interesting, Miss Mulatto. And when I
Yeah.
first heard it, I'm like, that's a word I don't hear very often.
Right.
So I actually looked it up in Wikipedia. I mean, I've definitely heard it, but I'm like, I haven't heard it being used in everyday speech. So I
Right.
actually looked it
Yeah.
up in Wikipedia, and it says mulatto is a term to refer to a person's born of one white parent and one black parent, or the
Correct.
person's born to a mulatto parent or parents. In English, the term is today generally confined to historical contexts, meaning that it's not used anymore.
Right. Correct.
English speakers of mixed white and black ancestry seldom choose to identify themselves as mulatto. So it's just an old term.
Yeah, it's definitely a historic term, and it originally was a derogatory term. It's not even something that people would want to call themselves. But for me, it's deeper than just saying, "Oh, I'm mixed. That's why my name is Mulatto." It using the derogatory past. Like, I used to be kind of insecure about how I looked. I hated my hair texture growing up, and having to go to school and people look at me like, "Oh, she thinks she all that. Why she's so bright?" Stuff like that. I took that negative energy and made something positive out of it. Hence my movement being Miss Mulatto to today. So it's kind of like a double metaphor, not literally mulatto meaning I'm mixed, mulatto meaning the term that was once a negative word that I'm using in a positive light now.
Okay. I mean, was it actually negative? I mean, could it be compared to like the N word and so forth?
Yeah, it definitely is a similar term to like the N word. It was like a racial slur to mixed people.
Okay. So once you started using that name, how did black people react to that?
Oh, people, I get I get flack to this day for that name. Like when I do shows and there's like older people in the crowd that kind of are more aware of the term, they will be like, they even used to come up to my parents like, how dare you let her call herself this, you know what I'm saying? But for me, it's not that deep. It's me embracing who I am, and it's hard to express to someone that wouldn't know the struggles that mixed people do experience. So it's kind of something that I just brush off my shoulders now. I don't even care to explain it to people. You wouldn't understand it because you don't live that, you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so when you have an angry older black person confronting your father, who's also black, about letting his daughter use this name, how did your father react to it?
At first, I would say definitely at first, it was the same with me, like you're all in your feelings, you know, very emotional at first, trying to explain to somebody, why I call myself this, but eventually, like, we took it and ran with it, and it's like, you're not gonna understand it, period. You're not gonna understand it. It's something that me and my family, experienced as a biracial, family, so it's not even worth explaining or breaking down to anybody.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I've always felt that words have too much power.
Uh-huh.
You know what I'm saying?
I
Where,
definitely agree with that.
you know, a word should not make you want to kill somebody or get
Yeah.
angry or
Uh-huh.
get out of your character, but quite often that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I'm all for taking words and trying to take the power away from them. It sounds like that's what you're trying to do.
Definitely. That's definitely the objective in naming myself Miss Mulatto.
No
And
doubt.
it's so dope because I have like so many little mixed girls that come up to me that do understand what I'm trying to express with me naming myself Miss Mulatto, and they're like, oh my gosh, you just make me love the skin I'm in, you know, I love the texture of my hair, I love my bright complexion. Even not everyone looks like me. As mixed people, we come out looking any different way, you know what I'm saying? So I love it. So if you don't like it, guess what? It ain't stopping nothing over here.
Right. I mean, especially even with siblings where you have
Oh yeah.
one, you know, you have a sibling that looks black, another sibling that looks white, and then one
Right.
that you don't even know. And you know what I'm saying? I mean, that's cool though. I dig it. I'm definitely
I
all
can
for it.
relate to that because I have a little sister that people, when we walk in public, people don't even think we're related. They think, oh, it's my friend or something.
Okay. Well, and you have a brother as well, right?
No, just a little sister. She's like darker complexion and darker hair than me. So.
Okay. So you actually started rapping fairly young, right? Around 10 years old?
Yep, 10 years old.
Okay. What made you want to start doing it?
Actually, I started out drag racing. That's big in my family. My dad and his dad, they drag raced. Anything basically that had wheels, they raced it. So my dad had me drag racing, spent like so much money, thousands of dollars invested into me becoming a junior dragster driver or whatever. And one day I was like, you know, I don't want to do this no more. I want to be a rapper. And he kind of looked at me crazy, but in my family, we definitely support everyone's hustle. So even at a young age, he dropped everything that he had invested in this and put it all into this. But even though my dad was definitely drag racing and doing all that, he had built cars and things like that. He was, like I said, anything in that had wheels, he was into it. So he built cars throughout while this drag racing thing was going on. And those cars would get rented for like video shoots. Rappers would call my dad like, oh, yo, we want to use your car for the video shoot, whatever. So while I was drag racing, I was still like around music because my dad would be at these video shoots. I would like be with him at the video shoots, at the studio with the rappers and stuff. So I guess I just kind of leaned more towards the music than the drag racing. I guess that caught my attention more. I don't know.
Okay. So before the rap game, how much progress had you made in terms of rapping?
Oh my goodness. The rap game definitely jump started a lot of success for me as far as my career, but also as far as the creative process and making music. I learned a lot on the rap game, and I took those tools and lessons that I learned and applied them to my career. Now I'm still nowhere near my peak or anything like that as far as my music goes, but I do definitely think I've learned a lot, and it did jumpstart a lot of learning.
Okay. But before you actually joined the rap game,
Mm-hmm.
how much progress were you making on your own?
Oh, I was definitely in my city in Atlanta. Not even just Atlanta, but I was definitely well known in Atlanta. But I was booking shows like surrounding states, Tennessee, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, things like that. My dad would have me working every weekend. Like I was not at the movies with my friends or at the mall. Like I was doing shows, open mics, talent shows, any kind of platform where I could get my name out there. Um, so that kind of built me a fan base. So when I would post videos on YouTube or like make a Twitter account, Facebook, Instagram, like I had a lot of followers for being an independent artist with no like TV platform or anything, any huge platform yet. So that's kind of how my name grew.
Okay, and you were actually on the first season of the rap game.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. First season, the
Okay,
OG.
so before, okay, so there was no show at all. You get contacted about this show that you've never heard of before.
Right.
You audition for it.
No, it went kind of different. Well, my season went different. Being that it was the first season. They called me, this, mind you, this isn't Lifetime. People, there's like a separate independent company that puts together the show and then they shop it to the bigger, like, Lifetime, BT, whatever. They contacted me. They seen my social media following, whatever. They contacted me. Basically, the show it wasn't even going to be a competition show. JD wasn't even a part of it yet, whatever. They just wanted to know if we were on board with the idea of being on TV. And that was like in the summer of 2016, I think. Um, so they didn't end up filming until October of that same year. So it's like a lot of different steps, a lot of different Skype interviews, phone calls, flying here, flying there, meeting different people that went in between the process of being actually on the show.
By the time you signed on and they started filming, Jermaine Dupri was part of the show.
Yeah, we didn't that was real. Like on the first episode where we met JD, that was real. Like we didn't even know what label we were competing to be working with. So that was definitely real.
I mean, Jermaine Dupri, how many albums this man sold? Like 100 million albums? I mean,
Yeah, he's definitely well established in the industry. I will
he's a lot more than well established. I mean,
yeah, he's especially in Atlanta. Like Atlanta,
oh yeah.
we definitely look at JD in a different light than other states.
Well, I mean, JD is, I mean, Bow Wow, Mariah Carey, Usher's biggest albums, Crisscross. I mean, and then songs with damn near everybody. I actually was at the Global Spin Awards where he got a Lifetime Achievement Award.
Oh yeah. That was recent. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, and he actually performed "Welcome to Atlanta," the remix with Snoop, Diddy, and Ludacris on stage. That
Oh
was
wow.
dope to actually see just the impact of how big how big JD has been doing it.
Oh yeah, JD is definitely slept on. There's a lot of things that he was a part of and is a part of that people don't even know about.
Okay, and you've said that not a lot of people can work with kids, can produce kids, but JD is one of those few people that can. And actually, I mean, JD's first success was with Crisscross, and they were what, like 10, 12
Yeah,
at the
I think
time?
they were like 12. Yeah, I think they were.
Yeah, and he gave them. I mean, that was a huge album back then.
Oh yeah,
So,
definitely.
what is it about JD and him being able to work with kids?
I feel like it's just this kind of JD. He for some reason I feel like he connects to this. Okay, so JD is old enough to be my dad, right? But when you're around him, it's like you don't get that like father or like older person vibe. It feel like he has this young vibe to him. If he didn't tell you his age, you wouldn't even think he was that old. It's more like a vibe thing. It's a gift, really. It's a gift. It's nothing more to it. It's just a gift. It's nothing that you can put your finger on. It's like some people have it, some people don't.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely has it. So you go through the whole rap game competition, and you end up winning.
Yeah. Duh.
How did it feel to be announced the winner?
I'm gonna keep it all the way 100 with you. My season was a lot different than the seasons that came after my season. Let the other contestants tell it. It was a real competition, and we didn't know who was gonna win. Da da da. They know what really happened in the house. Like it was so bad that Lifetime left out a lot of challenges that I just blew people out the water. The other kids, I just blew them out the water. So when I won, definitely a humbling experience. I was definitely very grateful to win or be a part of whatever, just for the opportunity itself. But I knew I was gonna win. I knew I was gonna win, and so did the other kids. But let them tell it though.
At the end of the show, you win and you get offered a record deal with So So Def.
Right.
But you turn it down.
Yeah, I definitely turned that down.
Okay, so why did you turn it down?
Okay, so my dad has always been a businessman. He was an entrepreneur all my life. So he was so many different hustles, like I told you, drag racing, in the music, with the cars, da da da. So he always instilled that within me growing up. So I never, like, even though I was a kid in the industry, I never conducted myself like a kid. I took everything for what it was. I was never like starstruck or anything like that. So in offering me a deal, right after I'm off a hit TV show, mind you, I win a lot of money when I win the show, regardless if I sign or anything. That's from Lifetime. I win a lot of money from the show.
Okay, can you say how much you won?
No.
Okay, fair enough.
I win a lot of money from the TV show, straight off a hit TV show. I had already built a fan base, a strong social media following. I'm already booking shows. You know what I'm saying? I'm already here. So in order for me to take a deal, it needs to be here. You get what I'm saying? You feel it? You catching the vibe? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
It would just have to be something extraordinary. And being that after I won the TV show, I took some of my cash and invested it, and you know what I'm saying? It's too many money flows right now. Like I can ride this independent route for a minute. So if you're not offering this, I'm not even gonna sit down and have a conversation with you. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what it was.
Okay, so what did you invest some of your money in? You said you had investments.
Yeah, I opened a clothing store. It's like a woman's boutique in my area where I'm from, Jonesboro, off of Terra Boulevard. And then
Dope.
I did the online store, which has been going crazy nuts, jumping off the wall. So, it's just so many things that is, you know what I'm saying? Somebody have to really be offering me. We got to be talking some cash in order for me to even sit down.
Okay, but when you talk about a career, right? A career is long term. You may not get a bunch of cash in the beginning,
Right.
but if you
yeah,
have
definitely.
platinum albums and major tours,
Right.
it doesn't really matter because whatever cash you get in the record industry, that's not really your money. That's a loan against whatever you make later on.
Yeah, when I say cash, I mean like not even just because, like you said, it is more like a loan. A lot of rappers, when they get cash, they're getting advances. You're going to have to pay that back. When I say cash, I don't mean like, oh, hand me this much up front. I mean like it has to be something where I can't pay for it myself. I can pay for video shoots. I can pay for studio time and all this. I have my own studio as well. A part of the boutique in the back, I have my own studio. So it just has to be, when I say cash, it just has to be some kind of monetary value to me in my career that I can't already do right now.
Okay, but Jermaine Dupri has a track record of making people stars and taking their star power and taking it to the next level. Like Usher was already a star when he started working with JD, but after JD, Usher became a superstar. So there wasn't any sense of, okay, well, I'm going to take a little bit less right now, but working with JD, I might benefit a lot more later on.
I definitely get the route that you're going. I definitely understand. And a lot of people from the outside looking in have, like, they're so curious as to why I didn't sign. But when you're actually in the circle, you see a lot of things that other people don't see. I'm not taking anything from JD. The man is very smart. He's very talented. I've seen him in the studio work. He's amazing. But like I said, we just being in the circle, we see a lot of things that other people don't see in the industry. Like industry people that I've met, we can relate to the same kind of problems that I ran into.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And were you talking to other major labels at the time, or did independent just seem like the way you wanted to go the whole way?
Oh, definitely. There were other offers, and still are other offers. Like I said, it just has to be something where I feel comfortable, and not only just the monetary value. I'm a human being. My mom handles all my finances, everything behind the scenes, and my dad is here with me. Like, he's my manager. He does everything. So we like to keep things like human being. I have to feel comfortable around you. I'm not a product. I am a product, but don't treat me like a product, if you get what I'm saying. And a lot of people in the industry, they just want to see their money. They just want to see their money in their bank account grow. They don't look at you as a human being. So not only do it have to be a monetary value to me in my career, it has to be a situation where I feel comfortable, where I can feel like I could trust you at least a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. How did JD take the news of you not signing the deal?
Actually, didn't even speak with him. And that's another reason where that discomfort comes in. It was a situation where I win the show. We're confused because we weren't even immediately offered a record deal or any kind of contract. A couple months later, I can't even remember the time frame. A couple months later, my lawyer gets a contract via email from JD's lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, it's a lot of funny stuff in that we see that other people don't, basically.
Okay, so you and JD really didn't have any conversations after the show ended?
No, not as far as signing any contracts or record deals go. No, definitely not.
Okay. So you leave the show
Mm-hmm.
and you start grinding again independently.
Right.
But by this time you have more exposure because you were on TV for
Exactly.
however how long. So
Exactly.
it made a big difference, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Okay. So what started to really work for you once you didn't kind of have the show behind you anymore?
My fan base is the growth period. Being on this TV platform, you got to understand, there's like, we had millions of viewers every Friday that tuned in to the show. So I have all these people tuned in on my social media right now, and right at the time. And it's just giving them content to keep them tuned in. But yeah, after the show, the growth was amazing.
And you started dropping songs, and I mean, I was looking at the numbers, which is why we reached out to you. And it was like, okay, like you got 1 million here, you got close to 1 million there, you got over 1 million there. Like, you started dropping songs that were really reacting on
Right.
YouTube. I mean, I'm assuming also on Spotify and SoundCloud
Right.
as
Oh
well.
yeah, definitely.
Like, what do you think was your biggest song at this point?
My biggest song up to date. Oh, my biggest song up to date will probably be It's funny we're talking about the rap game. I did a diss song, a response diss to another person that was on the same show as me, same season, and probably because one, people love entertaining negative energy. Two, we were on the same show, so it's just like both fan bases like reuniting again since the show was on. And then it being female beef. I'm talking before Remy and Nikki was even beefing. Like, it was just a female beef, and then a kids beef at that. Like, who's even seen that? it went crazy. I think it's like over 10 million views right now. So I would say probably that was my biggest song.
You're talking about Super Peach?
No, Lyric. Me and
Lyric.
Lyric,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Because I guess you and Super Peach had a little bit of friction on
Yeah,
the show.
yeah. Not on
Okay.
my behalf.
Well, I guess what, your dad and her mom or something like that?
Yeah, when we were in that house, like this what I'm saying, like when you're in the circle, we know a lot of things that the people don't see. While the parents are arguing almost in every scene, the kids are upstairs. We have to do school. We still have to do school. So we're upstairs doing school. And we're listening to them argue downstairs. So, while um Peach's mom and my dad had their disagreements or whatever, me and Peach are upstairs laughing about it. Let her tell it though. But we was really upstairs laughing about it like it didn't have anything to do with us. But of course, when she got around her sister and her mother again, you have to act a certain way. My daddy always taught me his problems are his problems, his disagreements are his. I can feel a whole different kind of way. That's how we was raised, me and my sister. Like, you are your own individual. At 10 years old, it don't matter. You can feel however you want to feel about any type of person. My relationship shouldn't affect your relationships with people. So I still treated Mama Peach, Sister Peach, and Peach with the utmost respect. Even after my dad had his confrontation with them. That's just how I was raised.
So Young Lyric disses you on Back to Back,
Right,
and then you responded to her.
right. Yeah, she dissed me on Back to Back first. First things first, that's what a lot of people didn't know. My diss was not, that was not my intentions. But once she said certain things about certain people in her Back to Back diss, that's when I dropped my diss. And then she dropped another diss after that. Mind you, she dropped a diss, like you said, to Back to Back. My mindset, I'm a businesswoman. I've been raised like this. When I tell you my dad was an entrepreneur my whole life, he instilled these things in me from the jump. I'm like, Daddy, we not even going, I'm not finna, cause he was like, I told him that I wanted to drop another diss, whatever, in response to her. He like, cool. I'm like, Daddy, though, I'm not even gonna rap on the same beat as her. I'm not gonna rap on any beat that anybody has already had. I called my producer, DJ Black. I'm like, cook me up something. I'm finna go crazy. My own beat, my own lyrics, my own studio time, my own engineer. All that was profit. Hers was just emotional, in your feelings type. You know what I'm saying? Mine was a business plan. And I still make bread off of it to this day.
Well, I heard both songs, and I think both of y'all brought it. On some lyrical beef shit, it was like, yeah, like I honestly enjoyed what both of y'all were spitting and the way you guys both did it. And at the end of the day, this is how hip hop started. Hip hop started with rappers.
Oh yeah, definitely. Oh,
dissing each
definitely.
other.
A lot of people they tend to forget that. Like, beef is, I think they look at it as more like a in the streets kind of beef. Like, we look at it as like, oh, that's so messy, blah blah. But that's kind of hip hop culture to beef on songs. And I do agree that both of us did bring it. I cannot bring it. I cannot flex and say that she didn't. If I felt like she didn't, I would have never felt like I had to respond. So I will give her that. It was enough to make me respond. I'll say that.
Yeah, I mean, I think songs like that are good for hip hop, and as long as it doesn't spill over into anything else,
definitely,
it brings a certain energy and competitiveness. And I feel both of y'all try to get personal with each other. In the music, I don't know how much of it is true and how much of it isn't, but at the end of the day, it kind of doesn't matter. Like,
yeah.
This is what it is.
In this song, of course, everything was, definitely derived from some kind of truth, but it's entertainment. It's the entertainment business, so of course things were dragged and made bigger than what they were, definitely. But mind you, this is like, I think it's been a year and a month since this song is dropped. It's definitely all entertainment to me to this day. I don't have any beef with anybody from the show, anybody that wasn't on the show, period. That's not my vibe 2018 and going forward. That's not what I'm on. If I post the song, if I perform the song, anything like that, it's definitely no shade being thrown. It's literally just what it is. The biggest song that I've made to this day, and it will be performed forever probably. So it's no beef continued on my behalf, at least.
So you said that you were actually done with beef moving
Yeah,
forward.
yeah. I see, like, I don't want to have that. This definitely was my biggest song. The fact that my biggest song was a diss to somebody else is like bittersweet. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be known for, oh, you talking about that girl that was beefing with da 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 and da 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 on that show? Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to have that reputation. And then I'm just getting older. You know what I'm saying? Like, I see that it's way more to life. Like, this money that I'm getting right now is like the family that I'm with, the people that I have around me. It's like so many more things to be focused on than trying to beef with other females, especially when it's all these dudes winning right now, and it's a potential come up of females right now. Like, I'm not trying to contribute to any mess that would stop the female come up right now.
Well, female rap has historically been kind of interesting because you have much fewer female rappers than male rappers. But it seems like the female rappers that do get to a certain point, they all start beefing with each other.
Oh yeah.
Whereas, it's just percentage wise. It'll be like, let's just say there's 10 female rappers, 7 of them will be beefing with each other. If there's 10 male rappers, maybe 2 might be beefing with each other. And the other 8 are doing songs with each other and trying to support each other and so forth. Like, why do you think that there's so much beef between female rappers?
That's also another thing where you can't exactly put your finger on. I can talk from my standpoint. I feel like females in general, like, aside from being artists or anything that has to do with the entertainment industry, we're catty in real life. Like, we argue and beef in real life. There's always a girl fight in school. You know what I'm saying? We beef over so many things. And then dudes have this mentality, like, I feel like dudes can be in the same room as somebody that they don't get along with, and females just cannot do that. So changing that into, like, the industry, dudes can conduct themselves in the industry knowing that they maybe don't get along or, whatever, but they don't make it be known. Females, we cannot have that same mentality. It's just so difficult for us, you know what I'm saying? But that's in real life, we are like that. So imagine that on steroids when you make 2 of them famous. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's an interesting point. I mean, I've never heard it said quite like that before because, I mean, if I go out, I'm in rooms with people I don't get along with all the time on a regular basis. And, we might look at each other and just whatever. But you're saying that if you throw 2 females who don't like each other in the same room, something's going to happen every time.
I'm using that more as like a connotation, like when the room being the industry. Like, you get what I'm saying? Like, when 2 dudes are in a room, they can conduct themselves and, you wouldn't even know that they are beefing. Now make that room the industry. The dudes can be both in the industry and nobody would know that they're beefing, or even if they are, they're not making diss songs or anything like that. Put the 2 females in the room, the industry. It's not the same. It's not.
Yeah, well, I mean, women are just more emotional.
Yeah,
period.
Exactly. Exactly. I do agree with that.
Biologically, and in terms of the way they were raised. I mean, I remember some of the discussions we've had on VladTV is we feel like we talked about how when you look at some of the violence that occurs in certain communities, and you look at some of these men that were raised by single mothers, a lot of them take on that emotional energy into adulthood and can't deal with conflict without having to act out somewhat. So I think there's a lot of truth in it. And it's actually too bad because if the females actually banded together and did tours together and did more songs together, they would all win together.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Oh, I definitely agree. And that's another reason why I'm not on that 2018 and going forward. Like, I see the bigger picture now. I'm a little older. I'm a little more wiser, a little more mature. And I still have a lot of more growing to do. But I definitely see the bigger picture now, and I see the potential of the female come up. I know we can take this over.
Okay, so you said before that you'll be forever Team Natural.
Correct. However, when I say this, I I try not to offend. You have to tread lightly, okay? Because I'm trying not to offend anyone that has anything surgically done to their body or has plans of doing anything to their body. It's definitely not a matter of me bragging on the fact that I'm natural and thinking I'm better than anyone because I am natural. That's definitely not the case. It's just a preference thing. It's a family, how you were raised thing. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. It's how I decide to live my life versus how you decide to live yours.
Yeah. Well, being in Atlanta, which is the headquarters of Team Unnatural, or however
You
you
say
want
that?
however
You
you
think
want to
so?
say it. Well, because it's a strip club culture, right?
Right.
And in 2018, you walk into any strip club, especially a black strip club, and the natural girls are definitely in a very small minority now.
Mm-hmm.
So you have an environment where, I mean, where more and more girls are getting cosmetic surgery, especially because the ass thing kind of came somewhat recently.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like 20
Yeah.
years ago, you could get your boobs done, but you can't get your ass done.
Right.
But
Yeah. I agree with that.
2018, now you have legal and illegal ways
Mm-hmm.
to actually get this done.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of a, and when you see a lot of the, well, when you look at some of the biggest female rappers, I mean, you look at Nicki Minaj, who's probably the biggest female rapper ever, numbers wise,
Mm-hmm.
and she's definitely cosmetically enhanced. Lil Kim, another girl is definitely up there, same type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like, well, damn, like, if I just had this done, I'd be more popping, or something of that sort?
I don't. And once again, it's like a personal preference kind of thing. I don't feel that. Like, I can honestly say that I do not feel that. Just as there are, maybe not necessarily rappers, but just as there are celebrities that have these kind of enhancements, there are celebrities that don't and are just as big, like Rihanna or somebody like that. It's a personal preference kind of thing. Like, me personally, I don't feel any pressure to change who I am. And then, like I said, I have my mom and my dad. That's my team. You know what I'm saying? So I have like this kind of like foundation around me where they would never make me feel like I need to change how I look or anything. Of course, them being my parents, why would they? You know what I'm saying? But I feel like I have good people surrounding me. It's like they make me feel like I look good how I am. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Regardless of what the industry says.
Well, I mean, I've noticed, like, I've looked through some of your videos. You definitely dress skimpy in some of your videos, but it's never like there's never like thongs or just anything really kind of over the top.
Mm-hmm.
And it's interesting because I remember, like, I'm a fan of SZA,
Mm-hmm.
and I remember kind of gearing up to this last album. She started putting out some pictures where she's kind of wearing a thong.
Mm-hmm.
And so forth. And I'm like, I mean, I wonder why. It kind of surprised me a little bit because she's so talented. I'm like, I wonder why she feels like she needs to do that. I mean, maybe she just wants to do it, period. But I'm wondering if she feels like she needs to show, kind of sell sex a little bit more in order to get to a certain point. Do you ever kind of wrestle with that at all?
Once again, treading lightly. I definitely feel like as a female artist, rapper or singer, regardless, you definitely have to have some type of sex appeal, quote unquote sex appeal.
Well, I mean,
to
but
your
do you?
image.
Because I remember Missy Elliott did it with essentially no, she never went that route at all.
Okay, but by sex appeal, that's why I say quote unquote sex appeal, because it could be like different. Sex appeal don't literally mean like being naked. Sex appeal could be like meaning just having a pretty face to where people are sexually attracted to you, physically attracted, whatever. How boys have to want to like you, girls have to want to wear their hair like you or dress like you, look like you. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say quote unquote sex appeal, because like my definition of sex appeal would probably be different to someone else's. But yeah, I definitely feel like as a female artist, you definitely have to have some type of quote unquote sex appeal. And I feel like me personally, I go to the gym a lot, okay? So I work on his body. So when I post my bikini pictures, don't tell me that I'm looking for attention. I'm just showing off what I've been working very hard for, okay? And I can't say that's what every female thinks of, or that's their mentality or their intentions of posting these pictures or whatever, thong pictures like you said, whatever. But that's definitely, I know, my reason, and a lot of other people's as well.
I mean, have you ever had any men in the industry, or women for that matter, try to approach you inappropriately, or try to, I mean, make you feel uncomfortable in that regard?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's so many struggles with being a female artist, that I feel like people are aware of, but they don't realize like the depth of the issue. Um, I just turned 19. I've been dealing with that since I started.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
So even being underage, men were trying to press up on you.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I feel like that's what I'm saying when I feel like people understand, like they understand the struggle somewhat of being a female artist, but they don't understand the depth of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate.
It is.
It's
It is.
unfortunate.
It is.
Well, I'm sure having your dad around probably.
Oh yeah, he scared a lot of them away. He scared a lot of them away off bat, but that still don't stop things like DMs or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Or trying to slip a business card when he not looking or something. Just thinking that you're naive because you are a female, but little do they know, like, I was never like that. My daddy always taught me to be a businesswoman first.
I mean, has your dad ever approached anyone trying to do that?
Not in front of me, at least. My daddy a OG. Like, you know what I'm saying? We move in silence, so I don't think so. I don't know. I hope not.
Okay. So are you dating anybody these days? Are you in a relationship, or are you just totally on your business?
I'm chilling. You know what I'm saying? I'm chilling. I'm married to the
Okay.
shmoney. First
That's
things
what's up.
first, okay?
No doubt. So what do you have coming up next?
Everything. I don't even like to speak on things. I just I pray every night. So tomorrow could be the biggest day of my career thus far, or it could be next month. But things that I know for sure, for certain, definitely new music, new videos. Everything will definitely be a level up. I can definitely guarantee that. But specifics, you gotta follow the kid and see.
Okay, so you don't have any mixtapes or albums that are gonna get released soon?
Definitely working on the single route right now instead of projects. Making sure that every song gets the attention that it deserves. I've dropped multiple projects before in the past, and I feel like not every song when you drop a project gets the attention that it deserves. Of course, I'm being biased because it is my song. So, but definitely, every song will not get the attention that it deserves on a project. So, I'm going the single route right now.
Dope. Well, I mean, it sounds like you have a good head on your shoulders, and it sounds like you're well grounded and have good people around you. And ultimately,
Definitely.
from what I've seen, I've been in the industry now for over 15 years, and that's the one thing that I feel is the big difference between people who make it and people who don't. It's not always the talent. It's who do you have around you, and
Exactly.
who are you running your
Exactly.
ideas by, and
Exactly.
and do you respect these people, or are these people scared that they might lose your job if they tell you something you don't like?
Exactly. Exactly.
So
Business is definite. This industry is definitely 95% business and 5% talent. Like, that's what a lot of people fail to realize. But once again, those were things that the good people around me taught from a young age.
well, Miss Mulatto, appreciate you coming in, and
I
can't wait to
appreciate
see
you
what you have
having me.
coming up next.
Blessings.